This retired corporate slave is back with some random thoughts. I'm doing up another podcast series. Each episode maybe 5 minutes, not more than 10, hopefully. Not too long either because I don't want to dive too deep into things. It's just an audio diary of sorts to record what I'm thinking about, and I may even sound like I'm venting at times. So you're welcome to listen if you wish. If you've listened to my previous podcast series, this will be very different. I want to make this a bit more raw. It may be just a little hard hitting at times, but it's basically what I've been thinking about recently. So I was just thinking the other day, have we lost the ability to feel wonder in life? I texted a couple of friends about the moon the other day, and I got boring texts back. So boring that it was insignificant to remember. Or maybe they just have better things to do than looking at the night sky. For context, it was the Mid-Autumn Festival, a traditional festival that symbolizes reunion, and it happens on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month, and the moon is supposed to be really nice and pretty during that time, which it was, and which was why I saw it and randomly texted my friends, "Hey, the moon looks great." Why don't we slow down and look at these things around us? It doesn't take glitz and glamour for us to appreciate the real wonders in this life. We are living on this blue planet that revolves around a flaming ball. We are tiny specks in this universe. How cool is that even? Though I secretly think we are in a sim, but that's a topic for another day. Why don't more people marvel at the little things? Imagine a baby marveling at everything because it's their first time seeing it. Then again, we can still marvel at things, even if it's our second or third time seeing it. Or is it that I'm surrounding myself with more of those who don't do enough of it? And also the question I think I should be asking is that, why do many others seem to chase some sort of material wealth, which I find seems to blind some to the wonders of real life? I don't think I'm being very verbose in explaining my thoughts here, but I'll try my best. Maybe they've really been poor and never ever want to live like that ever again, which, yes, is fair. How about the rest who maybe did not grow up that way? Status? What is it exactly about maybe having a nice car, owning so-called luxury goods? Why do some seem to hunger for that status or that feeling of feeling they have the capability to have more than others? I don't think I would ever comprehend why it makes some people feel good or proud of themselves. Granted, I am sure there are some who genuinely like the luxury brands and their products, and they buy them because they really genuinely like them. I'm referring to others who, at least it seems to me, I could be wrong, that these purchases are made to show off in some way. Well, if it were me, yes, I'll feel good about myself in that I'll know I am capable of this purchase, but it doesn't make me feel good in the way that I think I'm better than others or that I'm of a higher status. And it seems to me some feel they are better than others because of this material wealth. But I think it's a fundamental difference in mindset. And yes, I know I'm privileged enough to not have to worry about my next meal when I was younger, and maybe only because of that can I think about these things in such a manner. I don't want to sound like I'm putting others down, because that's not my intention. It's just I don't have a good idea what this materiality can provide. Maybe it gives them a feeling of security, a safety net, which I might never understand because I don't derive that emotional security from material things. But that's me, and I think I should learn to understand that there are vastly different perspectives. There would always be differences because the circumstances in which you were being brought up could have been vastly different, and it's not a matter of being right or wrong, it's just a matter of perspective. Though I think I take issue when others try to force their beliefs onto me. I was thinking about why this material wealth could be important for others, and I thought of this oft-used example. salesman. In the past, people would say, oh, you have to look the part to create this image that you're doing well, and thus whatever you're selling has got to be good. Okay, granted, it may have worked back in the day, but in this day and age, I'm not so sure. What with the proliferation of information, it's so easy to educate yourself and to learn things for, I believe, the majority of us at least. Of course, it would be different if you were in a situation where it's difficult to gain access to information or education. But I'm talking about if access wasn't restricted. You no longer have to rely on this image play because whoever is the buyer can do their own homework on your product, whether it's good or not, and buyers can make their decisions independently. I think I've digressed a bit, but talking about chasing material wealth, I wanted to share some thoughts on the Squid Game series. Recently, I finished Squid Game 3, and I guess the question that stood out for me was, does greed know no bounds? The theme of greed was what jumped out to me most. How far would you go for the price, when stepping on several others would make the price balloon? I asked my brother if he was given the chance, would he play it? He said yes, because basically if he doesn't, he's screwed, since he'd already be in crazy debt, but if he does, there's just this slim chance he may win. And if he doesn't win, then the end result would still be the same, that he's still screwed. So his perspective was that he'll take that crazy chance. That was interesting because I said I wouldn't. Why would I want to take such a huge risk? To me, I'd rather be alive and work through my debts through honest work, rather than try to gamble in such a way where it's literally win or die. Going back to the greed theme, I like that the show doesn't really have happy endings, even for the characters who have some semblance of kindness. It kind of reflects the ugliness of society, of how in the current state of things, it is more likely for humans to step on others for both benefit and survival. Yes, life is hard, but I think it would make it a little less hard if we could appreciate the little things in life more. In short, I think it's just about being grateful. And I know this sounds absolutely cliche, but I think it's true. Being genuinely grateful for things is key. I know some who only pay lip service on being grateful, but how do I explain to them that being grateful doesn't work this way? You have to really genuinely feel it and not sound like this. Oh, I should be grateful that I have food to eat while others are starving elsewhere. That's just resentment disguised as an I should be grateful because of statement. I guess those who think this way are those who haven't found a way or channel to vent their resentment or frustration. And honestly, I'm not sure if they don't know how to or if they actually just refuse to. Resentment being disguised as gratitude. I don't think I am doing this topic justice because I want to keep the episode shorter, but feel free to give some comments and your thoughts if you have any. To me, marveling at the little things is also part of being grateful. I'm grateful to be alive every day, as cliche as that sounds. I am grateful that the sun shines down on us and that I can see the trees once I wake up in the morning. Yes, call me cliche or cringe, but fact is, I'm truly grateful for life. I'm sure there will be some friends of mine who may be shocked to hear me say this because I don't show it much. But thing is, I don't feel the need to show it. I'm grateful, I know it, and that's all that matters. I live for myself and not for how others see me. And if you're still here, thank you for listening.